Now in here we should have a new version of one of the best watches of 2024, and it's one I've been very keen to check out, and it's from San Martin, who I'd say has probably been the best bang for the buck brand over the last 2 or 3 years in watchmaking. They've come out with some really high quality steel watches, one of which was the SN0144, which I recently reviewed on Ben's Watch Club. Essentially that watch had this insane pottery-like dial and some of the best case and bracelet finishing I've ever seen. And while it was clearly really high quality, it kind of fell into the same trap as a lot of other watches from San Martin. It didn't quite fit me. And until recently, San Martin basically only made their watches in a single size. But in here we have a smaller version of the SN0144. So the standard watch was 39mm, but then they released some more sizes, including 36, which is the one I've got in here, and a 42, I think it was. And I just really wanted to check out and see if one of these could actually be the San Martin for me, because although I've been incredibly impressed with the product, there hasn't been one that I've really been able to wear regularly that looked proportional for me. But hopefully this will change. I know some of you guys have been waiting for me to take a look at this one. Had to half unbox it because of the addresses all over the box. I haven't actually taken a look at this yet, so let's see. So we get some nice tools, as always, with San Martin. This one I purchased with my own money on AliExpress, and I'll link it in the video description. And that same link also has the 39 and 42mm variants as well. Is this finally the San Martin for me? And I went for a pretty bold colour with this one. Wow, goodness me, it does look small. Now, one thing that was really good about this watch before was the slimness, and you can even see through the film there, it is a very slim watch. So that might make it look even thinner than it already is. But there's something about this that looks extra small. Let's get the film off and take a closer look. And we can also take a look at the exact sizes as well. I went for quite a bold colour here. I'm not usually one for bold colours, but this one was definitely the one that stood out to me, and that is this blood orange colour. And this cost me, I think it was about 300 quid, including the exorbitant import fees here in the UK. So not super expensive, but also not quite entry level perhaps. Now I've noticed one thing straight out of the box. I've got better date wheel alignment here. It's actually aligned properly, or almost perfectly at least. Whereas the previous one, there was a slight error with the date wheel. It was staggered over to the side. But this looks much better, and there's that fantastic dial. It's cool seeing it in a different colour as well. Wow, I mean, I haven't looked at this watch in a little while. I forget how incredible that bracelet looks, man. That is so snazzy. It just looks so high quality. Let's take a look at the exact sizes before I try it on, because sometimes these 36mm watches are like 35 point something. I know that looks dead on 36mm wide. Looks pretty short. Yeah, sub 43mm lug to lug. And what's the lug width there? That also looks quite small. Is that 16mm lug? Oh no, it's 18mm lug. Just the shape of the thing, it looks smaller than that. Maybe because it's got a steep taper. And the thickness, right around 10mm there. I'll give you a quick close-up of this orange. As you can see, it's got like that gradient effect, so it's a bit darker at the edges. Do like it straight out of the box. Not sure if I love it. Very impressive what they're able to achieve, undoubtedly. Inside here, I believe it was a Miyota 9000, which is why the second hand's quite smooth. Full stainless steel case there. Pretty high advertised water resistance, and as you can see, it's got quite a substantial case back as well, screwed rear, and it's got a screw down crown, so it should have decent water resistance, much more than I'd need it for anyway for doing the dishes. Let's just give this a little try on the wrist, and there's a look at it on my 6 1/4 inch wrist, and that looks about right, maybe actually a tad on the small side, or maybe that's just bias from looking at a lot of slightly bigger watches and my perspective is a little warped potentially. Obviously the bracelet will take me a little bit of time to size up. I imagine this is how the 39mm looks on kind of like the average male wrist, and they advertise this as a GADA watch. I could go anywhere, do anything, although it certainly has a slight air of dressiness to it still. I'd say maybe it leans more towards that than casual use, despite the bright colour. I think it's going to take me a little bit of time to really discern whether this is the right watch for me or not. The only watches I've tried with similar proportions to this are like field style watches, which look completely different and wear quite different too. But I really like the fact that San Martin is finally experimenting with different sizes with some of these best-selling watches. Just gives us a lot more options. Don't see any obvious QC errors. I think maybe the 12 is like a fraction twisted clockwise. That's me being really picky. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section below. What do you think of this orange colorway? Because I know some of you are asking about it. And I'll leave a link to the full review in the video description if you want to go and learn a bit more about this watch. And of course, if you want to hear about these newest releases when they come out, I try and get my hands on a lot of them if I can. You should sign up to my newsletter in the video description. It's called In the Loop, and to my knowledge, it's the only newsletter out there that focuses on the new releases from the more affordable watch brands.